All right, so what we're looking at here is solving real-life problems with the adding and subtracting polynomials. And specifically, I want to look at this first problem, and then we can do the other two problems in class. And the first one involves a penny is thrown straight down from a height of 200 feet. At the same time, a paintbrush is dropped from a height of 100 feet. The polynomials represent the heights of the objects after t seconds, okay? So what you need to notice here is that over here, we have a penny that is being thrown down, and then we have a paintbrush that is being dropped, and that's the beginning heights in terms of the heights of the objects after t seconds, okay? So t here, these t's are representing the time, okay, in terms of seconds, okay? Now, on part A here, they say write a polynomial that represents the distance between the penny and the paintbrush after t seconds, okay? Anytime that we're looking for distance, okay, so we're looking for the distance between these two starting positions here. When you're looking for distance, just like if I were to say find the distance between 5 and 3, you would say 5 minus 3 is 2. There's a distance of 2 between 5 and 3. So when we're looking for distance, we're actually subtracting the polynomials, okay? So we're going to take the first polynomial, negative 16t squared minus 40t plus 200, and then we're going to subtract from it a negative 16t, a little more, negative 16t squared plus 100. Okay, now just like what we talked about in the last video, when we subtract, we need to treat this like I have a negative 1, and we're going to distribute the negative through. Okay, so we're going to distribute the negative, and a negative make a positive 16t squared, a negative and a positive make negative 100. Okay, now the first one we're not going to make any changes to at all. Okay, we're just going to keep it the same. And then we're going to combine like terms. Now notice when we combine like terms, the highest exponent here is 2, but a negative 16 and a positive 16, those cancel out and make 0, okay? And we talked about, like in the last video, we don't actually have to write 0, we can just cancel them out. Then the next highest exponent I see is an exponent of 1, and we have a negative 40t, but there's nothing to combine with it. Then lastly, we can combine 200 and minus 100. 200 minus 100 is 100. Okay, so for part A, it said write a polynomial that represents the distance between the penny and the paintbrush after t seconds, and that's what we have here. Okay, now on part B, it says to interpret things. So I just want to take a second here to kind of interpret what this means. This represents the distance after t number of seconds. Okay, so every second that passes by, the distance is going to decrease. Okay, to show you what I mean. Instantly when we drop the penny in the paintbrush, how many seconds have passed by? Well, none. At the initial start, no time has passed at all. So we could say that t is 0. So if I plugged in 0 seconds for t, negative 40 times 0 is 0, and 0 plus 100 would be 100. The initial distance between the two is 100, okay, 100 feet, which makes sense because we said it started at 200, and then the paintbrush started at 100. Well, 200 minus 100 would say that the distance between here is 100 feet, okay? And we're just kind of showing that here again with plugging in 0 for our time in seconds, okay? So the initial distance here is 100 feet. But if our second were to pass, let's say that the second for t were 1 second, negative 40, plugging in 1 for t. Negative 40 times 1 is a negative 40. Negative 40 plus 100 would give us 60, okay? After 1 second, that distance would decrease. Why? Well, it said initially the penny is being thrown and the paintbrush is being dropped, okay? So if the penny is being thrown, it's being thrown with some force. It's probably being accelerated faster initially because you have the rate of the acceleration of the object being dropped, but then it also has a force behind it because it's being thrown. And then you also have the paintbrush, which is being dropped, okay? And then eventually they would both meet at a distance of 0 because they would both hit the ground, and then there would no longer be that distance between them, okay? So that's kind of what they're talking about here.